we got a pretty good sized crew today. I'm gonna dive some shipwrecks at Britannia here. It's a spot I've never been to before, so I'm pretty excited to get in the water. It's been a while since I've been in the ocean, so let's go. All right, so we got here to the spot. Look at this crew. Have you?
Right off that first pier, yeah.
This was my first group meetup dive in 2023, and we had 9 people come out. This group had a wide range of skills and experience, from a beginner diver to ones that have had a lifetime in the ocean. As far as wrecks go, this ship is actually pretty shallow, and on a clear day, you can see it from the surface. However, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this spot for a beginner diver though, because swim-throughs and going a bit deeper to the deeper side of this ship takes a bit more experience and should be done with caution. However, I do recommend this dive for anyone that is more experienced, but as always, dive with a buddy and be careful. Swim-throughs like this do add a fair bit of challenges, because anytime when you don't have a direct line right to the surface, there is a bit more danger. So take a lot of caution with this, and don't do it if you're uncomfortable. Know your limits and swim within it. This wreck is the former Canadian Coast Guard craft Ready, and had been acquired by the Maritime Heritage Society of Vancouver to be restored as part of a floating maritime museum at Britannia Beach near Squamish. But unfortunately, in January 2011, it sank by sliding down the bank until coming to rest at the bottom of the ocean. The top of the ship is approximately 4 meters under the surface, and at the base of the ship, where it sits on the ground, is approximately 12 meters or so. After doing a little bit of research online, I found a number of photos of very similar ships from the Canadian Coast Guard at the time. This is the only one that I can confirm. As you can see on the side of it, it actually says the name Ready on it, that this was actually the ship while it was floating above the waves, which is pretty cool to see. In our area, I'm unaware of too many shipwrecks that actually have photos of before they sunk. So this is pretty cool. I'm sure there's some out there, but you don't really get to see this very often, where you can see the before and current state of the ship. This swim through on the ship though is super cool. You can swim right through the open doors of this cab and actually through one of the windows as well. And I believe Chris is going to have a really cool video of a bunch of us lining up and going through one after another. The way he set up his camera, there should be a really cool shot of us all going through the cab. So when his video is posted, I'll put a link down in the description below. I'm really excited to see that footage. It was really cool meeting some people that I've only ever talked to online, and coming out and having a big group dive like this was pretty awesome. And other than, I guess, the ship itself, it was also really refreshing to go for a dive and not finding any trash. I guess you could count the ship as trash. If anything, it's more of an ecological habitat for all the sea life around. This is one of those dives that I'm just going to have to do again, but I'm going to have to leave my camera on shore. On this dive, I had my GoPro as always, but I also brought my new Olympus camera, and I was trying to get some shots of that, but it's still something I have to practice with, and I've been noticing it doesn't do video that great, but the photos, especially the macro photos, are really cool. I got one really close-up shot of a nudibranch, and it turned out pretty cool, and it's something that I'm going to have to definitely practice with, because holding your breath while trying to get a still shot of a really small thing is definitely an acquired skill. And other than that, I spent a lot of my dive just swimming around, following people, trying to get some cool shots of everyone diving, and I didn't really get a chance to explore the ship without having a camera in front of my face. So like I said, I'm going to have to go back, leave my camera on the shore, and just enjoy the dive how it's meant to be enjoyed. That is something I often struggle with during my dives though. How much do I film compared to how much do I just want to enjoy the sights themselves? But it's definitely a balance, so sometimes I do go out in dives and I don't bring any camera gear, and it's a bit more of a freeing experience. But then I don't get to show the cool content with you guys, so it's kind of a catch-22. The best compromise I've decided for a lot of these dives is I put the camera, my GoPro, just on my mask. So the mask I use, it just screws right onto the top, and then I'm able to film without really paying attention too much about camera angles and whatnot. but then at the same point, often the camera angle is not exactly, it's not in frame, something along those lines, or it's just really shaky because it's on my head, so it's following every movement I make. So yeah, I get some footage from it, but it tends to not be the greatest. Here I am holding the camera like this, and I'm able to follow and track people much better and keep them in frame. Anyways, enjoy the next couple clips without me rambling on.
So we just finished up our dive. You guys all had fun?
100%.
So it was a great dive, pretty good visibility. Yeah, lots of fun. Hope to be back in the water soon. Thanks guys for watching.